Hi, I'm Emma and I'm in the studio with Artfinder. Hi, my name's Emma Sian Pritchard. I originally come from South Wales, raised in West Wales in a beautiful old farmhouse with lots of space to roam around in. And I've been with Artfinder since 2014, so about 12 years now, almost since Artfinder started in 2013. When I was about 14, 15, I had this wonderful art teacher, Mr. Bartle, in my school, Tregeeb, and we had 3 massive art rooms, and Mr. Bartle had the dark room as well for screen printing, painting. When I was 14, I actually painted, I can't remember their names, it's famous from Gone with the Wind. He's holding the damsel in this gorgeous dress, and I painted them, and it looked real. I was like, wow, looks like a human. I really inspired myself, and I was like, I want to do more. I want to get better. How good can I get? Oh, I want to paint this. Oh, I want to paint that. So, and there was a castle from our dining room window. There's Dineville Castle, literally just over the river. So I would sit in the field and paint that and see if I could get it better and better. The outside nature. Obviously, we didn't have the internet then, and there was only 3 channels on the TV, so you got bored a lot. So through being bored, we'd look for things to do, and nature was all around me all my life. So it's very much still with me now, and a huge influence in my work. I always find that other people are best describing it, because when you do it yourself, you're really involved in it. So I would say, if I was to take a literal sort of view, I would describe my work as bold, colourful, from nature, seascapes, abstract flowers with passion, movement, texture. For these, where I've got the flowers or the made up in Emma's head flowers, my interpretation of and the texture and the movement is very much in the foreground. So the first thing I would do would be the background, so the sky. So I would paint that first, and I would choose, is it going to be cloudy day? Is it going to be sunny? Or do I want an imaginary sky of purples and, weird colours, I don't know, sky background. So I would start with that, dry it, and then I would start the texture at the front with a palette knife and then build on top of that. If we're talking techniques, for me personally, it's a bit of everything, but I would say mainly brushwork, all sorts, even decorating brushes that are really nice and big, and they've got to feel right. I can't even describe the right brush, but if that's another one, if you're working at being a professional artist or having a go, invest in some good brushes, because they do make a difference. So brushwork, lots of different palette knives. I love using my own hands as well, so I will use my fingers for blending and different things like that. When I feel like I really want to paint a seascape, or if I have a commission for a seascape, then I have to have more thinking. So I have to plan out the painting. For instance, where's the horizon line going? Are the waves going to be close? Are they going to be in the distance? Am I going to have a deeper foreground? So all those need to be thought out beforehand, and then the whole picture, then the painting will fall into place from that. When I paint a landscape with my florals in front, again, I'm thinking about the colours, I'm thinking about the background, how far away do I want it. So there is a point of start for those, and a point of using the different side of my brain. But then what I love is when I take my brain away and something else comes in, where it's just a feeling, I suppose, is a way of saying it, and looking to where the shapes and colours are. And that's more intuitive, and that's more kind of going with the flow, and the paint starts talking to me and almost connecting me and telling me where to go. So one brush stroke will dictate the next one. So this is like part of my new collection where I'm trying to be more spontaneous. So my first love of painting when I first started selling my work was pure abstraction, blocks of colour and then flowing shapes through that. And I want to bring that back and connect it with nature somehow. So I start by getting rid of the white canvas. I'm not scared about blank canvas, but I feel that it's begging me to get on with it. So I'll choose some colours that I really feel that day. I know that sounds very strange and arty-farty, but it really does come from what colour am I fancying today, and I'll put some colours down, and then those colours and the shapes will then dictate where I go. So I'm constantly looking around the canvas, looking for what I feel is balanced, and sometimes I don't want it balanced, so I'm looking for a lot of different things: colour harmony, shapes, patterns, texture. Then I'll dry that off, and then I'll layer on top again with some different shapes until I feel right, now I can bring in some shapes and colours that represent flowers. Sometimes they're in detail, sometimes they're just an essence or a hint of a flower, and then I build it. So it's trying to bring a loose form but a cohesive piece of work that's strong in the end. I can see that nature has taken a massive role. When you're doing it, I don't think you actually realise it. Flowers and nature are used in so much. Album covers, even by heavy metal groups, you will see nature and flowers represented almost everywhere. And I love the fact that they're such a delicate thing. The petals, they're so thin, they're so fine, but the colours of some of them are amazing. And you think, how on earth did that grow in the ice? Little snowdrops come through. So I love the fact that they're so vulnerable, so delicate, but so strong as well. So I think without realising it, I've loved nature, and I love using that in my work because that is my reference, and I paint from a feeling and from what I know, and that's what I know, and that's what I love. Well, the world has changed a lot, even in the last couple of years. But there are a few things that you need. You need resilience, you need a thick skin, you need to be prepared to make failures and to have rejections. I guess it's like acting in some way, where you're putting yourself out there, you're putting your heart on canvas, Don't be scared and don't be too perfect, because if you waited for the right opportunity for your work to be good enough, you'll be waiting forever. Be brave. Now is the time. Get your work out there. Now with social media and things like Facebook and Instagram, it's a good visual way of getting your work out there, but also do some live markets, meet and connect with people, and you'll go on some joyous sort of accidental things. Don't plan it too much, but make sure every day you have a practice. It's like if you're going to be a writer, you don't wait for the muse, you can't do that. You can't do that as a painter. So you have to set your working hours, be prepared to work over them as well. It's not a 9-to-5 job, but make sure you have a practice where even if you don't feel like painting that day, you turn up And even if you make a rubbish painting, you've made that painting. And sometimes through a painting that you don't feel is good, so if you look at it again in another week, you'll see something else. And join something like Artfinder, because they'll give you a worldwide audience. Like I have sold hundreds of paintings in the US and many other and in many other countries now through platforms like Artfinder, who bring you buyers and art lovers that you could have only dreamed of had you not joined. You choose the clothes you're going to wear because it's your identity, and you may just love a certain colour. You choose your music you listen to, you choose the films you watch. So choose your art, choose the heart of your home, bring some soul back into that environment where we're not just making our homes like hotel rooms. Now more than ever, I think we need individuality and passion and colour, and be joyful with it. It doesn't have to be the most expensive painting. And also there are different types of offers where you can pay in installments, blah, blah, blah. But you're supporting a creative, you're supporting someone who's an individual person creating and making beautiful art. Find one that resonates with you and just try it. You'll see the original brushstrokes, you'll see the colours on a more vibrant scale as they were painted by the artist. So in a way, you're bringing some of that artist into your home, and like you would listen to your music on a daily basis, you'll come downstairs and go, oh, I chose that painting. Hey, I've got good taste. That's lovely, you know. So it's heart and soul, and it's helping small businesses. It's helping individuality. It's helping you create a home with substance, with character. Fill your house with joy. Why not? I started my art career after having a divorce and finally realizing that life goes by so quickly, and what do I want to teach my kids? And I did it. I had a thought, I have to do it because I needed the income, but also this passion came from, I want to show my children that life is about creativity. All humans are creative. You know, even the light bulbs in this room have been created by somebody. The floorboards, the mirrors, everything you see in this room has been created. So when I joined Artfinder, that gave me a wider audience and in effect helped me feed my kids, pay my mortgage. With Artfinder, they're bringing the audience to me from all over the world. So that has opened a lot more doors for me. A fantastic thing happened a couple of years ago. I won the best acrylic painter through Artfinder, and the prize was a 2-week residency in Château d'Orquevaux in northeastern France, and it was amazing. So I've met people from all over the world, mainly the States, New Zealand, Canada, fascinating people from all walks of life, young, older, really good mix of people. And the chateau was absolutely amazing. The food was amazing. And I've learnt at this stage of my career, never stop learning. Always say yes if you can to opportunities, because it was quite daunting going. And I think a lot of artists possibly overthink. The theme that we talked about out there a lot was, am I good enough? Am I really an artist? And I think you need to be vulnerable and acknowledge the fact that yes, you are, and it's okay to fail. It's okay to do a painting that isn't good. The main thing is that you do it. So from that retreat, I've got friends now all over America and New Zealand that we keep in touch daily through Instagram, and we've got a big group chat that we formed when we were in France. We have meetings like Zoom meetings, and we're constantly inspiring each other. So hopefully we will get together again. And at some point, there was some sort of abandoned buildings that they'd sort of staged with electric sort of lights, like a wonky lampshade. And you could sort of put these cloaks on at night and go around the spooky halls and the abandoned buildings to take inspiration from that. So I would say, have a bash at things. Don't be scared that you may not be good enough, because you are you. You're the only person doing you. So thank you to Artfinder for that, because it was blooming amazing. Well, I'm actually a dentist as well, so I pull teeth. No, I'm just kidding. So this is like a stretcher for stretching the canvas over stretcher bars. So you need it quite taut. So if you were just to do it with your hands, you don't quite get the tension right. So you grip the canvas and pull it to get the tension. So I've had this years, and I love my stretcher bar doodah. It's a stretcher tool, what's it, thingamabob.